My name is Raphael Johnson. I'm a third grade teacher at Griffin Elementary.
Bella Torriola, fourth grade bilingual teacher at Douglas Elementary.
Julie Cunningham, third grade teacher, Rice Elementary.
Jana Hunt, fourth grade teacher at Dixie.
Heather Gibson.
Heather Gibson,
Fourth grade.
fourth grade teacher at Orr.
Sorry.
Kelly Berry, third grade teacher at Griffin.
Robin Hunt, third grade teacher at Rice.
Wonderful.
All right. Now, if you guys could talk about the highlights and challenges of the grant.
Well, I guess I would start off with the highlights is getting with one another on a weekly basis. Right, just to talk about the math lessons for the 6 weeks and just getting to talk with one another to vent.
Bounce ideas off of each other to see what's working in somebody else's classroom or not.
And we were so close to the same grade levels that what would work in your classroom in a fourth grade, we could modify a bit and use the same ideas in our third grade classroom.
And I loved getting ideas that I probably wouldn't have thought of before. I liked the use of the different kinds of manipulatives. We used a lot of different kinds.
Right, because a lot of the manipulatives we have on hand, but just didn't know how to implement them.
Manipulate them.
I like how I didn't feel stupid with this group.
Oh, we felt comfortable enough with each other to make mistakes and to try new things without feeling like someone without feeling stupid.
Because we're supposed to be experts at
Because
school.
we're supposed to be experts at school, and we didn't have to feel that way here.
Right, we could add us some tricks. We need the wrong answer.
We could use calculators.
And it really boosted your confidence. You left feeling an enjoyment for math and having fun while you were learning. And so I think that it carried over into the classroom because you taught your students how to have fun with math also.
Do you have any ideas or examples of math that you implemented in your classroom that we learned?
Multiplication, a whole lot, because especially with 2-digit times 2-digit, it was the first time I had taken it apart, like in place value, to see what the worth of each number was and how it could be separately multiplied and then all added together. I had always just been taught the way to do it, but I never had the reasoning behind it, and so it made more sense.
And I utilized many of the activities, I really did, but for me it was more of an extension to the lesson. Something fun for the students to do or reinforce a skill.
I learned that there were multiple ways to find the answers. Like I only knew my one way to do it, but here I've learned that there are multiple ways, and it's important for the students to see all those different ways so that they can find the way that's best for them.
And I think the students have loved learning the different ways, and it's interesting how I have a student that's already learned something previously, maybe from a parent, and they've taught them the way they knew how to do it. And then whenever I went back and showed them, well, you can do it this way or this way or this way, they were surprised that they didn't have to do it just that one way that mom and dad had shown them, that you could come up with multiple ideas.
Manipulatives. Using manipulatives.
Using the manipulatives.
Lots of different ways to use them.
Mm-hmm. Lots of different ways to use them. Especially the color tiles too, because when we were having to show equivalent fractions and and we would separate, like say you had 12 individual tiles and like a row of 3 out of the 4 rows were a different color. And then how you can squeeze them together and spread them apart and see by actually moving them around what the equivalent fractions were, and a picture, a real life picture of it.
And the pattern blocks were also really good to use with fractions. You know, starting out with the hexagon and seeing how many triangles would be
Fit into that. And it's such an explanation as to what's happening in the problem, not just being told, but able to see it and see what's going on.
And how the manipulatives can teach many different operations. I used to have one manipulative for teaching this way and one for this way, but they've been able to.
Why is it my turn? Well, just the fact that, you know, since we get to explore with the manipulatives here, then, and we learn a lot of different things to do with it, like she said, we also give the kids that opportunity to play with them and see how we can see ourselves in them, the way we are here with them.
And then we move back to the classroom.
Yeah.
We're more successful.
I was thinking we're more comfortable with the manipulatives here because we get to play with them here, and so when we go to the classroom, you know, we feel more comfortable teaching with them.
How has your activities, your teaching, impacted student learning?
I think we touched on that a little bit. It seems that the joy that we've experienced goes back to our classroom, and I'm sharing that I'm coming to this class with my students and the lessons that I'm learning, so they're anxious to find out what I've learned next or what we're going to come back and get to explore now.
And as I've become more confident in math, they've become more confident also.
Because
Our teaching translates into
They've started talking more about patterns, and they see patterns in parts of math that we didn't see patterns in before. That I didn't know to point out because I learned about them too. You know, I mean, I guess I knew it was a pattern. I just didn't see it as a pattern. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
That's not how you had been taught to see
No.
the problem.
Well, you didn't bring it up to the students because you didn't.
Oh yeah, I didn't bring it, that's true, I didn't bring it up. I didn't say, do you see the pattern? Are you seeing the pattern? Now I do. Now they do.
How about, do you believe that your content knowledge about math has improved?
Definitely. This is my first year, so I feel like I'm on the same level as some teachers that have been teaching for a couple years. So I do feel I feel confident in my knowledge.
And you all did take us through the content itself and help us break it down into smaller things so that we can see better.
Right, I agree with everyone. But my thing was, I pretty much, you know, knew how I did specific skills my way and how to teach it to the students. But I didn't know how to, you know, let them manipulate and do hands-on activities to let them see it in a different way. But now I didn't, so we do a lot in the classroom.
It's been an enjoyment and reminding us that learning is fun, and I think that that's carried over to our classrooms as well.